Napoleon Bonaparte was born on August 15, 1769, on the island of Corsica. His early life was humble, far from the palaces of Europe. He was the fourth of 8 children in a modest family. From a young age, Napoleon showed intelligence, curiosity, and determination. He was a child who studied hard, learned quickly, and dreamed of greatness beyond his small island. Corsica had been recently acquired by France, and Napoleon grew up aware of the tensions between his Corsican heritage and French rule. Despite these challenges, he excelled in school and gained a scholarship to a military academy in France. It was here that his disciplined mind, ambition, and natural leadership began to shine. He learned military strategy, history, mathematics, and leadership, all of which would shape his future. Napoleon's early military career began during the French Revolution, a time of chaos and opportunity. France had overthrown its monarchy, and revolutionary armies were defending the nation from foreign invasions. Napoleon quickly distinguished himself as a brilliant artillery officer. His early successes, including the Siege of Toulon in 1793, earned him recognition and rapid promotion. He combined strategic intelligence with bold action, demonstrating an ability to see opportunities others missed. His rise was meteoric, fueled by talent, ambition, and the revolutionary turmoil that allowed a commoner to become a national hero. By 1796, Napoleon was appointed commander of the French army in Italy. He transformed a poorly equipped and demoralized army into a disciplined and victorious force. His Italian campaign was brilliant, winning battle after battle and defeating stronger enemy forces. He understood not just tactics but also morale. He inspired his soldiers, shared their hardships, and motivated them with speeches and courage. His victories brought him fame and established him as one of Europe's rising stars. Italy became his stage, and Napoleon's reputation as a military genius grew rapidly. His strategy of rapid movement, concentration of force, and surprise became his trademark. Every victory reinforced the idea that he was destined for greatness. In 1798, Napoleon led an expedition to Egypt. While Egypt's campaign had mixed results militarily, it demonstrated his ambition and vision. He sought to disrupt British trade routes and establish France as a global power. The campaign included the famous Battle of the Pyramids, where he defeated the Mamluk forces, showing his ability to inspire and command even in foreign lands. Napoleon also pursued scientific and cultural projects, bringing scholars to study Egypt's history and monuments. The discovery of the Rosetta Stone during this expedition was a lasting legacy, blending military action with intellectual achievement. Though the campaign eventually faced setbacks, Napoleon returned to France as a celebrated hero, proving that his image and reputation were as powerful as his battlefield successes. By 1799, France was politically unstable. Napoleon returned and participated in a coup, establishing himself as first consul. His rise to political power was swift. He reformed the government, stabilized the economy, and centralized administration. Napoleon introduced the Napoleonic Code, a set of laws that provided equality before the law, protection of property, and modern justice systems. His reforms modernized France, strengthened institutions, and created opportunities based on merit rather than birth. Napoleon also focused on education, building schools and universities to cultivate talent. He was a leader who combined military skill with visionary governance, understanding that stability and reform were essential to sustaining power. Napoleon crowned himself Emperor of France in 1804, signaling that his authority came from his own achievements rather than any religious institution. His coronation symbolized both his ambition and independence. As emperor, Napoleon embarked on a series of military campaigns across Europe, demonstrating unmatched strategy and innovation. He defeated Austria, Prussia, and Russia in rapid succession, culminating in the remarkable victory at Austerlitz in 1805, often considered his greatest battle. His tactics showcased speed, surprise, and the concentration of force at critical points. Napoleon's ability to outthink and outmaneuver larger armies became legendary. He inspired fear, respect, and admiration across the continent, transforming France into a dominant European power. As his empire expanded, Napoleon implemented reforms to unify and strengthen the territories under his control. He introduced efficient administration, modernized legal systems, and promoted education and infrastructure. Yet, his ambition also led to conflicts. The Peninsular War in Spain drained resources, and the continental system aimed to weaken Britain economically but strained France's allies. Napoleon's desire for European domination created both opportunity and opposition, shaping the political and military landscape of the continent. His campaigns changed borders, toppled monarchies, and inspired nationalism in occupied regions. Napoleon's vision was grand, but the very scale of his ambition created enemies determined to stop him. The invasion of Russia in 1812 marked the beginning of Napoleon's decline. Over 600,000 men marched into Russia, facing logistical challenges, harsh winter, and a resilient Russian army. Despite initial victories, the campaign became a disaster. Starvation, cold, disease, and relentless Russian tactics decimated the French forces. Only a fraction survived to retreat back to France. This catastrophic failure weakened Napoleon's army, diminished his aura of invincibility, and encouraged his enemies to unite. The European powers formed the Sixth Coalition, determined to end his dominance once and for all. Napoleon still displayed brilliance in subsequent campaigns. In 1813 he won battles at Lutzen, Botzen, and Dresden, demonstrating his strategic mind and leadership. But the overwhelming strength of the coalition proved impossible to overcome. The Battle of Leipzig, known as the Battle of Nations, involved over 500,000 soldiers. Napoleon fought valiantly, but the coalition's numbers and coordination led to his defeat. This marked a turning point. For the first time, Napoleon was on the defensive, retreating to protect France itself. Despite his courage and tactical skill, he faced the reality that his empire could no longer sustain his ambitions. In 1814, Allied forces invaded France from multiple directions. Napoleon led brilliant defensive campaigns, winning battles at Champaubert, Montmirail, Château-Thierry, and Vauchamps. Even his enemies admired his leadership, but the odds were insurmountable. Paris was surrounded and the French government could no longer support him. In April 1814, Napoleon abdicated as emperor, a painful moment for a man who had risen from modest beginnings to dominate Europe. The Allies spared his life but exiled him to the small Mediterranean island of Elba. Stripped of empire but not ambition, Napoleon's mind remained sharp, and he began planning a return. On Elba, Napoleon ruled over a tiny island but implemented reforms, built infrastructure, and trained a small army. He observed Europe and noticed the new French king, Louis XVIII, was unpopular. Recognizing an opportunity, Napoleon escaped Elba in February 1815, landing in France with around 1,000 followers. Soldiers and citizens rallied to him, the king fled, and Napoleon reclaimed power in the period known as the 100 Days. Europe united once more to stop him, leading to his final campaign, culminating in the fateful Battle of Waterloo on June 18, 1815. Despite his tactical brilliance, Napoleon faced overwhelming forces. The Prussian army arrived at a critical moment, and his Imperial Guard could not break the British line. Napoleon suffered a decisive defeat, ending his rule permanently. After Waterloo, Napoleon returned to Paris and abdicated again. He hoped to escape to America, but the British captured him and exiled him to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic. St. Helena was isolated and harsh, a place from which escape was nearly impossible. Napoleon lived under strict supervision, in difficult conditions, yet his mind remained active. He spent his days walking, dictating memoirs, reflecting on his life, and discussing politics, strategy, and philosophy with his companions. Despite illness, isolation, and declining health, he remained intellectually sharp and concerned with his legacy. He mourned his son, Napoleon II, and reflected on his victories and failures, seeking to understand his place in history. Napoleon's health declined steadily, and on May 5, 1821, he passed away at the age of 51. His final words invoked France, the army, and Josephine, reflecting the deep connections and passions that had shaped his life. News of his death stirred mixed reactions across Europe. Some celebrated the end of a feared emperor, while others mourned the loss of a visionary leader. In 1840, his remains were returned to France and interred at Les Invalides in Paris, symbolically bringing home one of history's most extraordinary figures. Napoleon's legacy is vast and complex. He transformed military strategy, creating tactics still studied in modern academies. His reforms modernized France and influenced laws, administration, education, and civil society across Europe. He inspired ambition, leadership, and debate, and his life remains a symbol of the power of vision, determination, and human intellect. Yet, his story also serves as a cautionary tale about the cost of ambition, the consequences of war, and the limits of human power. Napoleon Bonaparte, the boy from Corsica who became emperor, the strategist, reformer, exile, and legend, remains a figure whose life continues to captivate, teach, and inspire. Even after his death, Napoleon's influence continued to shape Europe and the world. His reforms became the foundation of modern legal systems, particularly through the Napoleonic Code, which emphasized equality before the law, property rights, and clear civil regulations. Countries across Europe and even beyond, in places such as Latin America, adapted these principles into their own legal systems. Napoleon showed that the rule of law could outlast the rule of a single man, proving that ideas can endure longer than empires. In military history, Napoleon remains a standard for genius and innovation. Generals study his campaigns to learn the art of speed, concentration of forces, and morale. The principle of flexibility in command, anticipating enemy movements, and creating psychological advantages are all lessons drawn from his campaigns. Modern armies, even in the 21st century, continue to teach officers the strategies Napoleon developed, showing that intelligence, planning, and leadership can surpass numbers alone. Culturally, Napoleon transformed the image of leadership. He understood that symbols, images, and personal branding could inspire loyalty and admiration. Paintings, statues, and coins portrayed him as confident, decisive, and heroic, and this cultivated a personal myth that lasted centuries. Writers, historians, and filmmakers have debated his character, producing a blend of fact and legend that makes Napoleon one of history's most intriguing figures. Even myths about his height, temperament, and ambition continue to capture the imagination of millions. Napoleon's life teaches timeless lessons. He shows the power of vision, that even a boy from a small island can change the world with ambition and discipline. Leadership requires empathy, courage, and the willingness to share hardships. Failure is inevitable in great undertakings, but learning from mistakes and adapting is what separates lasting legacies from fleeting victories. Ambition, while necessary for greatness, carries risks that must be managed with wisdom and humility. Napoleon's story also reminds us that true legacy comes not just from conquest, but from the ideas, systems, and institutions that continue to shape societies long after one's death. Today, Napoleon remains a symbol of human potential, of both the heights of achievement and the lessons of hubris. His life encourages reflection, study, and inspiration. He conquered nations, reshaped law, reformed society, and left behind a world irrevocably changed. Through the Napoleonic Code, military strategy, and the enduring fascination with his persona, Napoleon Bonaparte continues to teach, challenge, and inspire generations. He exemplifies the complexity of human ambition. A man who was brilliant and flawed, victorious and defeated, mortal yet immortal in the story of history. Even decades after his death, Napoleon Bonaparte's presence continued to loom over Europe and the wider world. His life and achievements became a blueprint for leadership, ambition, and reform. Generations of rulers, military commanders, politicians, and thinkers studied his campaigns, laws, and governance, attempting to understand the secrets of his extraordinary success. Napoleon demonstrated that vision alone is not enough. It must be paired with meticulous planning, disciplined execution, and the ability to inspire those around you. He showed that ambition, while potentially dangerous, can also transform nations and societies when guided by intellect and courage. The Napoleonic Code, arguably his most enduring legacy, fundamentally reshaped legal systems across Europe and beyond. By codifying civil law, Napoleon ensured that legal principles such as equality before the law, protection of private property, and freedom of religion became universal ideals in many countries. Belgium, the Netherlands, Italy, Spain, and large parts of Latin America adopted elements of his code, and the principles continue to influence modern legislation today. Through law, Napoleon's vision transcended the battlefield, showing that true power lies not just in conquest, but in building systems capable of lasting influence. He understood that empires may fall, but ideas endure. Napoleon's military strategies also continue to serve as lessons for modern leaders. His campaigns demonstrated the importance of speed, flexibility, and psychological insight in achieving victory. He proved that knowledge of terrain, the morale of troops, and the ability to anticipate enemy movements could outweigh sheer numbers. The principles of rapid mobilization, concentration of force at critical points, and combined arms operations remain foundational concepts in contemporary military training. Furthermore, Napoleon exemplified leadership by example, riding alongside soldiers in harsh conditions, sharing their hardships, and earning their loyalty. These traits continue to define exemplary military leadership around the world. Culturally, Napoleon transformed the perception of leadership. He understood the power of symbolism and personal branding, ensuring that his image conveyed confidence, decisiveness, and inspiration. Through paintings, statues, medals, and coins, he carefully cultivated a persona that became larger than life. Even in exile, his story captured imaginations and shaped narratives. Writers, historians, and artists debated the meaning of his actions, creating a blend of fact and legend that continues to captivate audiences. The myths about his height, ambition, and temper illustrate how the human mind seeks to reconcile extraordinary accomplishment with human limitations. Napoleon became both a historical figure and a symbol, a universal archetype of ambition, genius, and the duality of human nature. Napoleon's influence extended into education and governance. He believed that society thrived when talent was nurtured, not ignored due to birthright. His creation of lycées, universities, and administrative training programs emphasized meritocracy, preparing individuals to lead with competence rather than privilege. By promoting education, infrastructure, and scientific research, he laid foundations for modernization that benefited societies long after his demise. His emphasis on practical skills and rational governance demonstrated that effective leadership combines vision with structured development, leaving institutions that endure beyond a single lifetime. Psychologically, Napoleon's life offers profound lessons about human potential and the cost of ambition. His meteoric rise showed that intelligence, courage, and relentless focus can overcome humble beginnings. Yet his fall illustrates the limits of even the most brilliant individuals. Overextension, underestimation of enemies, and the relentless pressures of power can lead to downfall. Napoleon's exile, illness, and reflections on mistakes offer insight into resilience and the human ability to face failure with dignity. Even in isolation on St. Helena, he maintained intellectual curiosity, strategized, and recorded his thoughts for posterity, showing that the pursuit of legacy is a lifelong endeavor. Napoleon's story also inspired global conversations about governance, leadership, and moral responsibility. Revolutions and reforms in the 19th century drew lessons from both his successes and failures. His life became a case study in how ambition, skill, and reform can drive societal change. Leaders around the world have emulated his strategies, adapted his legal principles, or studied his mistakes to avoid repetition. Napoleon's life transcends French history, becoming a template for understanding power, influence, and the responsibilities of leadership. In art, literature, and popular culture, Napoleon became immortal. Writers such as Victor Hugo, Leo Tolstoy, and Stendhal explored his life and legacy, examining both the grandeur and the tragedy of his story. Painters depicted him heroically on battlefields, while sculptors and architects commemorated his achievements in public spaces. Modern films, documentaries, and even video games continue to explore his character, demonstrating the universal fascination with a man who combined human flaws with extraordinary genius. Napoleon serves as a symbol of the complexity of leadership: bold, visionary, flawed, and ultimately human. The lessons from Napoleon's life extend to modern leadership in business, politics, and society. Visionary leaders can achieve remarkable success by inspiring loyalty, planning strategically, and embracing calculated risk. At the same time, overreach and hubris can lead to catastrophic consequences. Napoleon's life encourages reflection on ethical responsibility, the balance between ambition and prudence, and the enduring value of creating institutions that outlast personal power. Leaders who study his life learn that the pursuit of greatness must be tempered with awareness of limits and consequences. Napoleon's impact on nationalism is also profound. Though he sought personal loyalty and empire, his campaigns inadvertently fostered national identity in occupied regions. Spain, Italy, and Germany developed stronger notions of unity and independence in reaction to his conquests. His actions catalyzed movements that would define Europe's modern political landscape, illustrating that even unintended consequences can shape the course of history. Napoleon's life thus demonstrates the interconnectedness of power, influence, and societal change. Psychologically, Napoleon remains a study of human resilience and ambition. He faced adversity with focus, learned from failures, and pursued legacy with relentless determination. His correspondence, memoirs, and strategic notes reveal a man who understood both the external and internal dimensions of power. He combined intellect with emotion, pragmatism with inspiration, and ambition with reflection. This multidimensionality makes him not only a historical figure but also a timeless subject of study for human potential, leadership, and morality. Even today, Napoleon is invoked as a symbol in education, strategy, and leadership training. Military academies, business schools, and leadership programs examine his campaigns and governance as examples of innovation, risk management, and organizational efficiency. He embodies the idea that extraordinary achievement requires vision, courage, discipline, and the ability to learn from both victories and defeats. His story inspires individuals to push beyond perceived limitations while remaining mindful of the consequences of overreach. In conclusion, Napoleon Bonaparte's life continues to resonate across centuries. He transformed law, education, administration, and military strategy. He inspired loyalty, fear, and admiration. He demonstrated the power of vision, ambition, and disciplined execution. At the same time, his life is a cautionary tale about the human limits of power and the consequences of ambition unchecked by prudence. His legacy endures not only in monuments, books, and military manuals but also in the lessons that shape leaders, nations, and societies around the world. Napoleon remains a figure whose brilliance, complexity, and humanity continue to captivate, inspire, and teach, proving that even a single life can leave an indelible mark on history. Napoleon Bonaparte's life offers a profound study in psychology, showing the complex interplay between ambition, intelligence, and human emotion. He was a man driven by a relentless desire to shape his world, yet he remained deeply human in his fears, attachments, and vulnerabilities. From his early years in Corsica to his final exile on St. Helena, Napoleon exhibited a unique combination of resilience, focus, and introspection. He understood that to achieve greatness, one must master both external circumstances and one's inner world. This psychological insight explains much of his enduring appeal. He is not merely a historical figure, but a mirror reflecting the potentials and limitations of the human mind. At the core of Napoleon's personality was an unyielding confidence. He believed in his vision even when others doubted him, a trait that allowed him to achieve victories against seemingly insurmountable odds. Yet, this confidence was balanced with meticulous planning. Napoleon studied his enemies carefully, anticipated potential setbacks, and always sought to control as many variables as possible. This combination of boldness and preparation is one reason his military campaigns remain the subject of study centuries later. Leaders across domains, from business to politics, examine how he merged foresight with action, demonstrating that intellect alone is insufficient without the courage to implement decisions decisively. Napoleon also provides lessons in the psychology of leadership. He understood that leadership is not merely a position of authority, but a relationship between a leader and those they guide. He inspired loyalty by sharing hardships with his soldiers, by recognizing their achievements, and by demonstrating courage alongside them. His ability to communicate a sense of purpose and vision made others willing to follow him into extraordinary situations. Modern leadership theories echo this principle. Empathy, recognition, and shared risk are central to cultivating trust and commitment. Napoleon's example underscores that true leadership combines authority with human connection, strategy with empathy, and vision with accountability. Moreover, Napoleon's life illustrates the duality of ambition. Ambition can drive innovation, progress, and personal achievement, but unchecked ambition carries risks. Napoleon's early successes built an empire, but overreach, particularly in Russia, revealed the consequences of misjudging resources, timing, and human endurance. This duality provides a timeless lesson. Ambition is most effective when guided by humility, self-awareness, and careful consideration of limitations. Leaders today can learn from this balance, recognizing that audacity must be tempered with prudence. Napoleon's influence on culture, law, and governance further demonstrates his multifaceted legacy. Through the Napoleonic Code, he transformed societies by promoting legal equality, property rights, and clarity in civil matters. This legal system reshaped Europe and inspired nations beyond its borders, showing that the impact of one individual's vision can extend far beyond their immediate sphere of power. By institutionalizing reforms, Napoleon ensured that his ideas endured even after his empire fell. This strategic use of enduring systems highlights a crucial principle for leaders. Building structures and institutions that outlast individual authority magnifies the long-term impact of one's actions. Culturally, Napoleon understood the power of narrative and symbolism. He curated his image meticulously, knowing that perception can be as influential as action. Statues, paintings, coins, and public ceremonies projected power, decisiveness, and inspiration, turning Napoleon into a legend during his lifetime. This mastery of image is a lesson in soft power, demonstrating how leaders can influence hearts and minds, not just through policy or force, but through vision, storytelling, and symbolism. Modern leaders, educators, and communicators continue to study his approach, recognizing that perception shapes behavior as much as tangible achievements. Napoleon also contributed indirectly to the rise of nationalism. While his intent was personal empire, his campaigns inadvertently fostered national consciousness in the regions he occupied. Resistance movements in Spain, Italy, and Germany began to articulate ideas of national identity and unity, laying foundations for the modern nation-state. Napoleon's life thus exemplifies the unintended consequences of leadership. Actions taken for personal or immediate goals can ripple through society in transformative ways. Recognizing the potential for such ripple effects is a critical lesson for contemporary leaders navigating complex social, political, or organizational systems. Psychologically, Napoleon's resilience in adversity is instructive. Despite exile, illness, and eventual defeat, he maintained intellectual curiosity, strategized for the future, and reflected on his mistakes. On St. Helena, he recorded his memoirs, analyzed campaigns, and contemplated governance and human nature. This capacity for reflection and learning, even under extreme constraints, demonstrates the value of self-awareness, adaptability, and lifelong learning. Leaders who cultivate these traits are better equipped to respond to challenges, recover from setbacks, and leave meaningful legacies. Napoleon's personal life also reveals insights into human emotion and motivation. His deep love for Josephine, the grief over lost opportunities and failures, and the pride in his son illustrate that even the most powerful individuals are shaped by relationships and emotional bonds. Recognizing and valuing human connection is essential, both in personal life and leadership. Ambition and intellect alone cannot sustain achievement without empathy, trust, and meaningful relationships. Napoleon exemplifies how personal experiences shape professional actions and influence the legacy one leaves behind. In the modern era, Napoleon remains a symbol of ambition, strategy, and vision. His campaigns are taught in military academies. His reforms are studied in law schools. His leadership principles are analyzed in business and management programs. Even beyond formal education, Napoleon serves as a narrative archetype for individuals striving to achieve against the odds. He embodies the tension between vision and limitation, daring and prudence, action and reflection, offering lessons applicable not only to leaders but to anyone seeking to navigate complex challenges. Napoleon's story also serves as a meditation on legacy. True legacy is not measured by titles, conquests, or fleeting power. It is measured by enduring influence, systems that persist, ideas that shape generations, and inspiration that motivates others to act. Napoleon's laws, reforms, and strategic principles continue to resonate, demonstrating that a thoughtful, disciplined, and visionary life leaves impact far beyond personal lifetime. Leaders today can draw from this lesson. Investing in enduring ideas and systems ensures that ambition translates into lasting significance. Finally, Napoleon Bonaparte exemplifies the human capacity for greatness intertwined with vulnerability. He achieved extraordinary success through intellect, courage, and determination. Yet his life also illustrates that flaws, overreach, and miscalculation are inherent to the human experience. By studying his life, one gains a deeper understanding of the complexity of ambition, the demands of leadership, and the interplay of personal and historical forces. Napoleon remains both a cautionary tale and a source of inspiration, demonstrating that greatness is possible, but it must be pursued with wisdom, reflection, and humanity. Napoleon's enduring relevance lies in the universality of these lessons. His life encourages reflection on personal ambition, strategic thinking, ethical responsibility, and the cultivation of resilience. He shows that the pursuit of vision must be balanced with awareness of human limits, that leadership requires both intellect and empathy, and that the greatest achievements often involve navigating complexity, uncertainty, and moral responsibility. His story inspires generations to pursue excellence while acknowledging the costs, risks, and responsibilities that accompany extraordinary ambition. Even centuries after his death, Napoleon Bonaparte remains a figure of fascination, admiration, and study. His life exemplifies the heights of human potential and the depths of human challenge. From the boy born in Corsica to the emperor who reshaped Europe, from the exile on St. Helena to the lasting symbol of ambition and genius, Napoleon's life continues to teach, inspire, and provoke reflection. For historians, leaders, and individuals seeking to understand the dynamics of power, influence, and human potential, Napoleon's story is timeless, a testament to what one life can accomplish, and a reminder of the enduring lessons embedded in the pursuit of greatness.